So Lucy, it looks like I was totally wrong. Coronavirus is way worse. The numbers are way worse than I thought. What are you up to? I'm just saying, like, we're finding out it's way worse than we thought. I hope everyone shares this video. I don't know what you're up to, but I hope it ends with some tacos and some kisses. I gotta apologize, guys. I was totally wrong on coronavirus. Some breaking information coming out, and the numbers are way worse than I thought. Before I get into those numbers, I just want to show how YouTube has been blocking all my other content, and it's because I was spreading wrong information, what you could call fake news. So even my video yesterday, they've been doing this for a long time, and I can see why now, because I was totally wrong. My video yesterday, they froze around 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and I think it was 31,397 views or something like that. And it was around 2 o'clock, close to 3, I took a bit of a video. So it's been about an hour now that the video, yesterday's video, is stuck at 31,397 views. Currently 3:20 p.m. We'll see how many hours it stays at this. Good thing they're blocking it. And then an hour later, I checked again. So it's now an hour and a half later. I haven't refreshed this page yet, so it was at 31,397 views with 1,139 comments and 4.1 likes. Let's hit refresh an hour and a half later. And it's 31,397 views, 1,217 likes, and an extra 300 thumbs up. And it hasn't moved. We'll continue to watch. This usually lasts for about 3 hours every day. Totally frozen, as it should be, when people like myself were spreading fake news. I checked it again. And okay, it's now 5:30. It's been about 3 hours. I haven't refreshed this yet. 31,397 views with 1,200 comments, 4.4 likes. Let's refresh. And what a surprise. 31,397 views. There's now 1,278 comments and 4.6 thousand likes. So it's now been 3 hours at 31,397. See if this goes much longer. Usually they turn it off after about 3 hours and then it just trickles in. An hour later, still nothing, frozen. Thankfully, YouTube is stopping all this bad information from getting out there. I checked it again. And okay, we're now at almost 6 o'clock. This started at about 2 o'clock, the freezing of the views. At 31,397, this is the last one. I haven't refreshed it yet. There was 1,278 comments and 4.6 thousand likes. Let's refresh and see. They probably have restarted it. They usually freeze it for about 3 hours, but let's see. Nope. So we're now at 6 o'clock. Let me show that again. 6 o'clock. 31,397 views. The comments have stayed the same, and I can't remember if that went up at all. Was it 4? I think everything's just been frozen now. So it's been 4 hours now. We'll keep watching and see when they release it again, and when they do, it'll go up just by a trickle because it'll have screwed the algorithm. The algorithm will assume that this video has nothing of interest to anyone. And finally, after about 5 hours, they allowed it to continue. Okay, we're now at 6:20 p.m. This started around 2, so we're almost to 6 hours of frozen views. I'll bet they've unfrozen it now. I've never seen it go 6 hours before, but let's hit refresh. So it's 3,970 and 1,283 comments, 4.6K thumbs up. Let's hit refresh. And it has just started to move by a few hundred now, just as I expected. There's now 1,300 comments, 4.7K likes, and we're up about 200 views now. It was on pace for easily 100,000 views today. And it'll probably just trickle from there. And so my video, which was totally fake news, that was on track for easily 100,000 views in that day, they stopped it for 5 hours, which actually stops the algorithm, and then it'll only get a few hundred views an hour after that, if that. So it effectively kills the video, as it should, when people like myself are spreading fake news. And they also did it to Max Egan. They did it really fast to him today. He had a video, I won't say the name because it's obviously horrible what he's saying. I won't even say the title because it's that bad. As soon as he uploaded it to YouTube, it was removed. You can still see it on BitChute though, if you want to, and I'll put the link to it down below. And I have to also apologize that the hashtag end the lockdown was one of the top trending items on Twitter in Canada yesterday. That was partially, actually mostly probably because of Dan Dix, who also put out a complete fake news video saying that some people were questioning the lockdown, which is terrible. You should never, ever question the lockdown and what the government says. Never, and I mean never. Or what the media says, the mainstream media, or the pharmaceutical industrial complex, or Bill Gates. Never, ever listen to them. And actually, I want to play a clip from CNN. And actually, they let some information slip about just how bad the death rate is. So I'll play that video now.
Something important has happened over the course of this crisis. Estimates of expected deaths have gone down by a lot. On March 31st, the White House estimated that even with social distancing policies in place, between 100,000 and 240,000 Americans would die of COVID-19. Dr. Deborah Birx, the White House's coronavirus response coordinator, said that that was, quote, our real number. Dr. Anthony Fauci, the nation's top infectious disease expert, recently indicated he now believes it will be more like 60,000. The University of Washington model, which has been cited by the White House, predicted on March 26th that assuming social distancing policies that stay in place till June the 1st, U.S. deaths by August would most likely be around 81,000. By April 10th, they had made many revisions to get to their current number, 61,500. Stanford's John Ioannidis believes that we have massively overestimated the fatality of COVID-19. He told me, when you have a model involving exponential growth, if you make a small mistake in the base numbers, you end up with a final number that could be off 10-fold, 30-fold, even 50-fold. He points out that in some of the places with the best testing, the Diamond Princess cruise ship, the Italian town of Vo Eugenio, Iceland, Denmark, the numbers who are actually infected when adjusted for the US population as a whole suggest a fatality rate that is actually similar to the seasonal flu. Based on limited testing data, he estimates that fewer than 40,000 US deaths will occur from COVID-19 this season.
So I don't know what CNN's doing here, but they're basically saying that the models were way off. That not tens of millions or hundreds of millions of people are going to die. Not even millions, not even hundreds of thousands, but 40,000, which I looked up on a site, and it said this year's flu season is shaping up to be possibly less severe than the 2017-18 season, when 61,000 deaths were linked to the virus. However, it could equal or surpass the 2018-2019 season's 34,200 flu-related deaths. I don't know. I guess the government and the mainstream media and the pharmaceutical industrial complex just made a big mistake. Certainly it was not planned. It could not have been a big plan to lock down the world. They would never do anything like that. They've never done anything like that. Look at 9/11. That was just terrorists in caves in Afghanistan with box cutters that knocked down 3 buildings with 2 airplanes at free fall speed. So they never lied about that. They've never lied about anything, really. We should put all our faith and trust into the government, mainstream media, and the pharmaceutical industrial complex, which is constantly putting out so many great things to keep us all healthy. It's weird that most of the deaths in the US are actually from pharmaceuticals and actually from hospital errors. But still, we have to make sure, we always have to trust what we see on the television programming. It's there for us. That's why it's there. Now, there's some very interesting information coming out. Most hospitals are empty. It's really strange. It's like the hidden enemy.
This is St. Joseph's Hospital. Parking lot is empty. I went inside of St. Joseph's and I went in several different waiting rooms, and there was no more than 1 person in each waiting room that I went into. The emergency over there is slow as can be, and every nurse I've talked to has told me that they're extremely slow and that there's not much going on.
It's a very horrible spell, according to Donald Trump. It's weird, like you don't really see anyone dying. The numbers don't seem to show anyone's dying out of the ordinary. But some very interesting info just came out, and it's something I have talked about in the past. And there's been a few doctors coming out and talking about it, saying, well, first of all, here's what happens. When someone comes into the hospital, and rightfully so, they should, they pretty much just mark them down immediately as being a COVID, even if they're in a car accident or anything, because it's super dangerous. And we need to make sure the numbers show that, right? And the government actually gives the hospitals $13,000 every time they say they have a COVID person. And on top of that, they give them another $30,000 for a total of close to $50,000 if they mark them down as needing to be on a ventilator.
Right now, Medicare has determined that if you have a COVID-19 admission to the hospital, you'll get paid $13,000. If that COVID-19 patient goes on a ventilator, you get $39,000, 3 times as much. Nobody can tell me after 35 years in the world of medicine that sometimes those kinds of things impact on what we do.
And so a lot of people who it looks like they have pneumonia end up in a hospital. 2 million people die every year from pneumonia. And when they get there, they mark them as COVID, they get their $50,000, they put them on a ventilator. 80% of the people put on ventilators end up dying. It's really strange. I guess it's just really bad luck. Or it could be, I've heard this crazy conspiracy theory. I don't even want to spread it because that's very dangerous to spread conspiracy theories. That when you have pneumonia and if they put you on a ventilator, it pushes all of the, basically all the gunk in their lungs, all the liquids and stuff, pushes it in further and ends up killing them. But, you know, you can't take the chance. They might have had COVID. So please share this video with everyone who's scared to death of COVID, because it is very, very scary. No one out of the ordinary is dying, but the mainstream media says we all need to lock in our houses, and governments across the world have put 3 billion plus people under martial law for good reason, because as you can clearly see, this is very, very, very dangerous. And you know, one thing I don't get is all this hate for Bill Gates. I was on his Instagram. There is thousands and thousands and thousands of comments. There's not one good comment. I'll even go through. Here's his latest Instagram post. I can't believe these sick people. Bill is trying to save everyone. He's making up 7 billion vaccines that he's going to have forced on you to help you to get through this horrible crisis. And people are reacting with unbelievable amounts of hate to him. I just don't understand it. So here's his latest one. I'll just read through a few of the comments. Now here's Bill. Such a great guy. And he's thanking all the healthcare workers while he's under lockdown. How could anyone have anything bad to say about this? What kind of sick people are out there in the world who would say all this stuff? Listen to some of this stuff. I can't believe it. It's one message after another. Let me just go through some of them. Now, just wait, my phone's loading. CHD Dell says, where there is risks, there must be choice. We do not consent. Medical freedom. Australia is awake. Sarah says, for every 100 comments you delete, there will be 1,000 more. Hashtag arrest Bill Gates. How could you say that? Stanley Blade said, if you're reading this message, you are the resistance. We were without hope, but this comment section has ignited the flames of liberty. Do not let up. Spread the message like a wildfire. God bless humanity. Hashtag plandemic. Munoz says, Bill Gates needs imprisonment for crimes against humanity. Sarah says, keep deleting. We can't be silenced. Rob Maya says, this is war. You won't silence us. Try whatever you want. You're just adding fuel. Essa Carey says, so glad to see that people woke up. Awaken Lord says, crimes against humanity. Deb718 says, the awakening is happening. This is great. Danny98 says, you can delete the Abramovich video, but we're not going to forget it. You Ain't King says, stop deleting comments. We want nothing to do with that effing vaccine. Test that shizzle on yourself and your own family. The Real Big Nesh says, no chips, no vaccines, no 5G. The Nesting Birth says, to see so much awareness has made me feel so much better. Lorraine McCulley says, may you get arrested. Crimes committed in India against children. D-Hole Passion says, no to toxic killer chemical vaccines. Yes to a naturally supercharged immune system via plant-based organic nutrition. Tin Fanger says, arrest Bill Gates. We the people are united. We are woke. Ha 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 says, no to your bloody vaccines. Face of 2000 says, when the lions are awake, you shall hear them roar. Awoken You says, screw your vaccines, screw your chip, screw your agenda, screw your NWO, leave me alone. Uncommon Mama says, Bill, stop deleting my comment. People already know about your agendas. Give it up. Look for your moral compass. Perhaps it was left in the garage so many years ago. The world is awake. Take your billions acquired by your lies and let go. World Awoken says, crimes against humanity. The Designer Hippie says, arrest Bill Gates. Evan Wojo says, Bill Gates for prison. Wow, there's so many people who are so confused. If you don't get it, Bill Gates has been working for a long time with the World Health Organization, run by basically a criminal, with the United Nations trying to start a one world government to help us all. He's been working on vaccines, which some people, they're crazy, in India say has killed or paralyzed or really hurt hundreds of thousands of people. Same in Africa. How could these people be saying these things about such a great man? He's put out numerous documentaries that he produced on things like Netflix showing what a great guy he is. I don't understand what's wrong with people. But getting back to the point that they're constantly misdiagnosing things, here's a doctor in St. Louis talking about how basically everyone who goes to the hospital, they say they have COVID, whether they have it or not.
I just am so frustrated. Like, as a doctor, it's my job to take care of my community. That's my job. You doctors that are watching this, and I see a lot of you right here, why are you not getting loud? I just told you the fake news about the kid in Louisiana. There was a baby that was born 22 weeks early because the mother had tested positive for COVID-19, went into distress, forced to go into labor, and the baby died. And the headlines were baby dies of coronavirus. Now, did you guys see earlier last week or late last week, there was a story out of Connecticut where the the governor came out, tweeted, and said an infant died in Connecticut of coronavirus. And then the parents came out and said, no, my child did not die of coronavirus. My child had an accident at home and died from that. It is just crazy. Please, you guys, go back and watch this, share this, because I promise you this video is going to get removed today. I promise you that there's no way in hell the powers that be are going to let this video get out. I promise you. And by the way, I can promise you this. Next month, I'm going to get more audits from the IRS, from the insurance companies, from Medicare and everybody else, because when a doctor speaks up and speaks out about the truth, the powers that be come after the doctor to suppress him and shut him up. That's the world we're living in right now. How many of y'all think that's okay? It's not. Now, I'm telling you right now, we can get healthier. We can beat this stuff, but we got to wake up. We got to start seeing. It's 2020. It's time to start seeing the world of 2020 vision. And I'm telling you right now, you need to wake up and look around. Next time you see a major headline, look for the story that brought that story out. Look and see, well, wait a minute, that doesn't make sense. Your spider sense started tingling. This is not real journalism, people. Right now, what should be happening is people should be going to hospitals right now. I mean, independent people should be going and asked to volunteer at hospitals and see how crazy it is. Journalists should be going inside of the emergency rooms and the ICUs to find out what the hell is really going on in there. That's what needs to be done, because right now there are people all over the world going to hospitals and ERs and ICUs, and they're not seeing the craziness that's being reported. And I'm not saying that COVID-19 is not a real deal. I'm not saying it's not a virus. It sure is. We don't have a cure for it, just like we don't have a cure for the cold or the cure for the flu or anything else. And oh, by the way, don't you think it's really interesting if you look at the stats of how not right now all the COVID-19 coronavirus deaths are rising? Guess what's dropping massively? Deaths from pneumonia, deaths from the flu, and deaths from heart disease and heart attacks. Don't you think it's a bit ironic? What, are people not dying from heart attacks anymore? Are people not dying from pneumonia? Are they not dying from the flu? Nope. Apparently COVID-19 and coronavirus fixed that. So now every person that dies now, for the most part, is getting labeled, toe tagged with COVID-19 coronavirus. Think about that, people. I don't know what to tell you other than it's crazy. And every one of you better share this information with everybody on your contact list. And when I get done, you should start a watch party about this. You can get zinc glycinate still. You can get quinine still. You can get Schweppes tonic water still. You need to be rocking that stuff out. Yes, you can get vitamin C. Yes, you can get all these other products. Yes, you can get D. But I'm telling you right now, that zinc and that quinine is a game changer. That's what's being used, and you need to use this preventatively in your life as well. So again, I'm not making any claims that we're curing anything. I want to be real clear about that, because I guarantee you people are going to take this message and spin it. Crazy doctor from St. Louis claims he can cure COVID-19 with zinc and supplements. No, I never said that.
Because really, if you think about it, even if you get eaten by a bear or a tiger, you probably have COVID. And how could anyone say anything bad about the World Health Organization, funded by the great Bill Gates? They have basically a genocidal murderer running it. I forget exactly what he did, something about Ebola. And then he hired, as the front man for the World Health Organization, Robert Mugabe, who did great things in Zimbabwe. He made everyone trillionaires, twice. He took their farms and stuff, but they deserved it. And if they didn't like it, he killed them. That's the way it should be. Got to keep the country all cohesive and together, especially during a hyperinflation, which was not his fault. And now the World Health Organization, see how great they are? They're doing a One World Together at Home global special to support healthcare workers in the fight against the pandemic. How can you be against that? Now, they've got Lady Gaga dressed up as some sort of satanic crab or something. But that's all art. It's just art. Or like Madonna's performance about a year ago, almost exactly a year ago. Oh, there goes Lucy after some birds. Which was, it looked really satanic. It's just calling people naive and stuff like that. Basically laughing at them. That's all part of the show. They're great.
You see the statue of Isis, also known as the Statue of Liberty. You see it falling, right? You see kind of smoky skies. This all representing, the end times. This theme that we've seen over and over with American Horror Story and all these movies with the predictive programming. that show, the world's going to end and everyone's going to have gas masks, it's going to be smoked out, no one's going to be able to breathe, all this kind of stuff, right? And they're all wearing white and they're going around Madonna. And as she touches them, they're falling, they're dying off, right? She's killing them off. Then she does a dance with one of them before she, breaks it off. And she stops, and you could see she's even doing this Masonic handshake at the hands, which go past the hand onto the wrist area, so hand to wrist, and they do a shake. They actually shake up and down, and then their hands go, and then she lets her go up in the air, so that they even show it's a shake. This is a Masonic handshake.
And all the celebrities are doing such a great job of... Lucy's going right after all the birds. There's my girl. Go get him, Lucy. Almost that one. The television programming people are all just staying in their homes and telling everyone that it's all part of our duty to keep everyone safe. It's great. And I saw Saturday Night Live, did it all from home. Now I have to say, I haven't seen anything funny on Saturday Night Live since about the 80s. When it was like showing my age here, but Chevy Chase and Eddie Murphy. Now it's pretty much complete garbage and mostly political. But it's even less funny than normal now without an audience. And who did they have host it? Well, none other than the hero, Tom Hanks. He battled through coronavirus. It was so hard, he said. He said it was the blahs, but it was worse than the blahs. He said he'd get tired after folding laundry sometimes, because when you're a multi-billionaire, you fold your own laundry. So it was really heroic, a real tearjerker to see that he survived this deadly virus and is now hosting Saturday Night Live, not from his own kitchen, because it looks like a kitchen of a broke person. And he looks great, which is great. So there is hope. Some people can survive this horrible pandemic. So even with all this information I'm giving you from great sources like CNN and everything, showing how dangerous this really is, there's still some horrible people that are still going outside and going for walks and getting some sun. They're going to kill everybody in Britain. There's so many of them.
I had to end the day on a positive note. This is from the Daily Mail. The great flout doors. Britons head to the parks and beaches to soak up 73-degree heat despite lockdown, while councils are forced to shut cemeteries, guys, to clamp down on Easter mourners laying flowers. Britons across the nation are continuing to flout social distancing guidelines as the country tries to control the surge of cerveza bug cases, which has now hit 84,279. And you can trust that number because it's from the government. It's from Johns Hopkins University, friend to Big Pharma.
It's absolutely terrible. Like I said, I really suggest that you always listen to the mainstream media, the government, and follow all the laws, all of them. It's the only way we can be safe. So, if you haven't noticed, I've been kind of being a little sarcastic this entire video. And it's because I wanted to get normies, or people who just watch mainstream media, to click on it and watch. And kind of just confuse them, play with their programming, because what they believe and what I'm talking about doesn't compute. I also did it so those of you who have family members who unfortunately have been hypnotized by the television programming, the mainstream media, and the government, you can share this video with them. They're probably not going to watch anyway, you know how they are. But some might, and some of them might go, wait, what's he talking about? There's like less flu deaths this year with coronavirus than last year, admitted, even on CNN of all places. And the reason I think they do that is they can't keep this going. Too many people are waking up. Just look at Bill Gates' Instagram.
Look at all the people filming their hospitals. They're all empty. They can't continue. So here's the new plan. And I said this would come. I said this, if you look back about a month or two ago, when I first started talking about this, I said, once enough people figured it out, they'll roll back the numbers, which they already are. So the guy on CNN even said, oh, it might be 40,000 dead, which is about the same as the flu every year. But what they will say is, look, the lockdown worked. The social distancing worked. That's what they're already saying. And that's what I said they were going to do. And there's going to be a next one and a worse one. I think this one's going to be almost over soon. Too many people are waking up, which is great. Keep sharing, keep thumbs up. Definitely watch us on BitChute or Library, because we get, as you can see, massively shadow banned here. Try to get as many people over there as possible, where we can talk about the truth. So they're going to have to roll this back pretty quickly. I think we're going to see that now. So that's some good news for everybody. I can't see much chance that they can keep this going for longer than another week or two. And then what they're going to say is, well, we've got to keep the social distancing, which is ridiculous. And a lot of people won't do it. And the more people that don't do it, the better. But be aware that the people doing these things are incredibly evil. And they will do something else, whether it's using 5G or actually releasing something. They've worked on so many things in their labs for bioweapons that they might actually release a real one if enough people stop listening. But just remember, if and when they do, to remain strong. And remember, this is all attacks by the globalists, no matter what happens. But the more we share this information, the less chance they have of being successful. And we're already starting to see that. So in many ways, this is very great news. Now, of course, they're still talking about lockdowns. Some of the most heinous places in the world with some of the worst governments are places like communist Canada or the UK, where everything's illegal. They live as slaves. And they're talking about a year or 18 months of stuff like this. But if you share this information enough, they can't really do it. And really, if the world was just, if governments were actually there to help you, if the courts were there to decide what's justice, if the police were actually trying to enforce things against people who are hurting other people, all three of those things are not true whatsoever. But if they were, every president, prime minister, every politician who voted for some sort of a corona thing, lockdown, every doctor who's been on the mainstream media who's been promoting that there's going to be millions of deaths, all the police who have been attacking people and extorting them based on this, they should all be hung. Now, I'm not saying I'm going to hang them. I'm not saying it's even going to happen. But if there was justice in the world, that's exactly what would happen. Because what has actually happened because of all this, and it is on purpose, and this is what I've talked about since the Dollar Vigilante started, is the next financial crisis collapse, which they were planning, will be the worst ever, and it already is, so I'm right. And it's going to get worse economically and financially. Every day this goes on now, it will get worse and worse. And all they're doing is printing up trillions of dollars and giving it out to all their corporate buddies and to themselves and to the banks. And most other people are just going to be wiped out, and then there's going to start to become hyperinflation, and that's going to be the next big one. And they'll probably time it with another virus and say it was caused by that. But that will be the next one. Let's just finish off this one first. I think we're almost done. If you share this stuff, if you tell people, if you get out there, this could be over in a couple days. Just get everyone to turn off the TV. There should be like another hashtag that should go viral. Smash your TV. No one should ever watch that. It's propaganda meant to cause you massive problems. Got a couple dogs walking up here. But no matter what happens, this is going to be economically and financially
the worst thing that's ever happened in world history. And it might still take a little while before it really gets going. Even in 2008, it took about a year for everything to really start crushing. And Lucy wants to go after those dogs. That's okay, Lucy. Muy bien. Muy bien. So we're just in the early stages of it here, and you can do very well. But you have to get out of things like the banks, the stock market, the bond market. They're all going to be destroyed. You have to do it now, before it's too late. And start getting into things like cryptocurrencies. Start using them. Get some precious metals for sure, gold and silver. You can get them at dollarvigilante.com/gold silver or dollarvigilante.com/silver bullion. Silver bullion's in Singapore, but you can store it in their vaults there. I really like what I've seen from them, by the way. And you can buy both on both sites with cryptocurrencies. Lucy, Ben. So we're going to see what happens next. But there's going to be no shortages of crises and problems. And just look at the amount of military they've been shipping into the US. So before they end this lockdown, they might be doing something major. I don't know what it is. But as long as we continue to spread the truth, they're going to have a very hard time keeping this lockdown going very much longer. So we might be able to stop some of their plans. Their plans were to destroy everything, keep everyone on lockdown basically forever, and vaccinate everybody. And basically we'd be living in communism. There's a great little meme I saw. How you enjoying your 30-day free trial of communism? So if you have any assets left, you need to get them out of the regular system. Get them into things like cryptocurrencies and precious metals. And because of all the inflation, we're talking close to $10 trillion has now been printed up, which basically indebts more the people and also gives it to a bunch of cronies whose businesses should have gone under, but they get freebies. And some people will get a $1,200 check, which is like, of the 10 trillion, that's like less than 1% of all the money. That's on purpose. They say it's all for you. They do it all the time. But get into precious metals and cryptocurrencies. I said once we get through this first phase of the crisis, they will start to take off, and we're already seeing that. And we actually have opened up. It's only open till Saturday. I don't know what we're going to do after that. It might close sooner. The Crypto Vigilante, so you can get all of our stuff. We've got a bunch of books, got a huge community of people who can help you out. If you're new to all this stuff, now's the time to learn. It's like learning about email in 1993. You'll be like years ahead of everyone else. It'd be like knowing about the internet in 1993. You'd make fortunes, right? Same thing in crypto. It's still very early. And you can sign up right now at dollarvigilante.com/TCV. And that includes the Dollar Vigilante, by the way. If you're a Dollar Vigilante subscriber already and you want to get the Crypto Vigilante, all you have to do is go to that page, dollarvigilante.com/TCV, sign in under your Dollar Vigilante, and then you'll just have the opportunity to sign up for the Crypto Vigilante. And you only have a few days left, so it's going to be very interesting times, but I think I'm actually getting kind of optimistic that enough people are waking up. Just look at Bill Gates' Instagram. And another thing I've noticed is most of the major mainstream news sites, I rarely check them, but I was just checking a few things today. All of them are comments off. And you know why? Because most of the comments would be just like on Bill Gates' Instagram. They're hiding the fact that millions and millions and millions of people know what this is. And all it takes is more people figuring it out, and that's up to you. Every single person who watches this video, make sure at least 3 or 4 or 5 people today, you tell them a little bit, forward them some very basic stuff. Some of those doctors, Dr. I think Kaufman, Dr. Shiva, have all been talking about the same stuff I've been talking about, that this is not what they say it is. And please hit like down below, please share. And if you have any ideas how we can stop them from super shadow banning us on YouTube, please let me know. I do read through the comments every now and then. because every single one of our videos should be in the hundreds of thousands right now. In fact, our biggest video in the last month was 700,000 views, and they deleted that completely. So once you get up about over 100,000, once you start getting close to 1 million, you get heavily targeted. So definitely, but you don't on other sites. So check us out, dollarvigilante.com/BitChute, dollarvigilante.com/LBRY. In fact, LBRY Library just tweeted out about us, saying they really liked our video. Not getting that from YouTube. If we were not shadow banned, and if we were just allowed to be like a regular site, like a makeup tutorial site, or NBC or ABC or any mainstream media, we'd have millions of views. So let's make that happen over on BitChute and Library. Just walk away from all their systems. And have no fear. There is nothing to fear. We are actually winning. And the battle is going to continue. And we'll see what happens next, so stay tuned. So leave it with Lucy. Yeah, it was a fun walk. There's all my friends. Yeah, let's go say hi. There's Bruce, there's Polo, there's Letta. There's a Letta. That's a Polo. Muy bien, Bruce. Muy bien, Rango. Muy bien, Rango. Letta. Bruce. And they're crazy. They're crazy.
Wait, this video just scratched the surface. The attacks from big government and central banks are just starting. To survive today's economic chaos, you need to understand topics ranging from Bitcoin and cryptocurrency to the latest misinformation from the Federal Reserve, what the central banks are up to, and how big government is encroaching on your life. Subscribe to this channel now, and don't forget to click the bell beside the subscribe button to make sure you never miss a single video. Take responsibility for your own future and make your personal world a better place. Share this video with your friends and subscribe now. We're all in this together.